here. Hi, welcome to the How to Do Drugs podcast.
Woo! What's up, Aaliyah? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. This is Phil Duckett, everybody.
Ah, man. Long time.
You're wearing the fucking shoes in the apartment?
Oh my God, it's been a long time since I've been here. Let me take my shoes off real quick.
So I don't know why we became friends again.
There it is.
There we go. How are you?
You know, I can't complain. Busy.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to stay away from all these white folks and their diseases.
Yeah.
You know, Omicron, Delta, syphilis.
That sounds like fraternities.
They really do. And they're raping just as much.
Fraternities love rape.
They really do, man.
It's like a murder of crows, a pride of lions.
Yeah, it really is.
Or a rape of fraternities.
It's like Lord of the Flies when you get into a fraternity. They're just like...
Were you in a fraternity?
No, I didn't need to pay for friends. Just kidding, guys. If you were in one, I have a lot of friends in fraternities. I played sports in college, so I didn't really have time. Yeah, I thought about it. I wanted to, but it was, you know.
Like, what do they even do? I don't even know what, like, besides, like...
Well, the fraternities?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. So, the black fraternities...
they're cool.
They are, but you get your ass whooped, like, pretty good. I wanted to be...
The hazing?
The hazing,
They stopped that because people were dying.
No, they said they stopped it. They haven't said... they said what you wanted to hear.
Yes,
but, like, I know a lot of them. Like, I remember my buddy, I have a few buddies in black fraternities, and they were telling me about when they would get paddled. Like, you'd have to, hold your ankle, grab your ball sack, hold your ankle.
And they, with a wooden...
With an axe handle.
Ooh.
Yeah, so wooden, bang. I mean, But, my buddy was telling me a story that there was one guy on their line, his line name was Uno. Because one night during the paddlings,
his parents,
he didn't grab both balls, so one of his balls was hanging out, so the axe handle caught it and shot.
Oh, that was a nickname, not his real name.
No, that was his nickname. The first line, his line name is like the nickname they give you for that pledge class.
So
and his name was Uno.
Ooh.
I was like, and you know what? You have to name the fraternity after me after I lose a scrotum ball.
A fucking nut?
A nut? I'm missing a nut for these colors?
Like a hall or something.
Are you right? I need my picture up in the mess hall. Like, yeah. I sacrificed everything.
Be like, I literally sacrificed bodies.
Somebody told me, and I could be wrong, that if you were to ever, like, split your sack and your ball falls out, it was like, it's not like a ball, like you think, like it unravels down. Oh, God, that just hurt me.
Kind of like the intestine.
Yeah, like it's not a ball, like you think it would unravel down. Like, and that shit hurt me to even think about.
One of my buddies, he has a fake nut. And it's like, I guess, like, I don't know, my girlfriend...
Is it glass, or is it like...
I wonder if you, like, would you want a glass nut, though?
I don't want to, because, see, I've sat on one of my balls before.
And I'm sure
and that hurts, but to have a glass ball under, and it, like, jam... Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's
or
not
it hits
glass.
the other ball. What's the little thing that's on, like, professor's desk with the balls?
Oh, the clanky thing.
What is it called? I forgot.
It's for, like, to help, like...
The momentum. I know the name. There's a name for it, but that's all I picture. The clankers. That's some Wisconsin shit. The clankers. But...
What makes clanking noise?
I think that's what it would look like if you had a glass nut. It would just keep knocking the real...
A pendulum.
Yeah. That's what it... But...
Well, the big one is a...
Yeah, the pendulum... Yeah, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Okay. We are fucking dumb as shit.
We're so smart.
That's what happens when I smoke.
When I lived in Texas, they had corporal punishment. So if you got a certain number of detentions, they would take a wooden paddle and the principal got to whack you 3 times on it. I remember my first time at this school, my parents are there and they're showing us around, and this kid, they just have him bent over a desk. The door has to be open, obviously.
Right.
And 3 whacks, and my dad's like, "That's going to be good for you."
I forgot you was raised in the 70s. Yeah, we didn't have that.
80s, 90s, mother.
We didn't have, I grew up in the 90s. They wasn't, but you know what's crazy? It's funny you say that because it makes sense. My mom, when I was in elementary school, during the PTA meetings at the beginning of the year, she would always tell my teachers, if he ever gets online, you can always take him out back and beat his ass.
Yeah.
And I used to be thinking in my head, I was like, you don't let these white people put hands on me?
They used to.
Yeah. But apparently that was like a common thing. And my dad was like, when we got beat at school, he got your ass beat at every house on the way home, which, old people would be lying. I'm like, so would you just knock on everybody's door and tell them, I got in trouble today? How would they know that?
It does take a village.
It does. That's what scares me. I'm like, nah, I couldn't have that, man.
Even when I went to Catholic school in Wisconsin, rulers against the knuckles, and I was like in first grade when that happened.
Yeah, Catholic schools don't fuck around with
I wonder if I'm sure some, like...
I went to Catholic school 1st and 2nd grade, actually, so that would have been 94 through 96, and they had in North Carolina, but they didn't have that. Yeah, I mean, they probably just
abusing
getting
children.
out of it.
They realized wasn't really good for when they became adults.
Yeah, but now I'm really afraid for these little niggas who have no discipline, because I'm
None.
like, I actually would have taken the beating, because at least we kind of feared certain shit.
Well, I think some kids need beatings.
And some don't.
And some don't. Some need more love and attention and affection, while others, no, you need a smack upside your head. I'm
about to say, I was always one of them kids, as much as I hate to admit it, I got beat a lot, and my mom even apologized.
You have manners now? You're polite?
I know, right? And that's what I'm saying. When I need to be, because I'm like, I don't want to get slapped in the mouth and embarrass my mama.
I see some of these people, and I'm just like, just lack of bound everything. I'm like, whoa, how were you raised?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some kids on the subway.
I want to take some adults and fucking, like, ground them and spank them and put them in
I offered my belt to a parent on the subway. I was like, you need this? It looks like this is getting away from you.
I was only hit with a belt a couple of times, and that's only because they started leaving, like, marks, like, permanent, like, scratches and shit, and my dad was like, what the fuck did you do to this is my stepmother, who used to beat me. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, the worst whipping I think I'm beating, I don't call it whipping, the extension cords are pretty bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one was a flashback look at slavery, and I knew I would have never made it. I'd have ran to freedom every time.
She took our double Dutch row.
I'm telling you, them ain't nothing to fuck with. I mean, they take a piece of skin with them every time.
Yeah.
It's nothing to fuck with.
I probably have a couple scars that I don't
Definitely
even know
do, man.
about.
Good God.
And then it was just moved to the wooden spoon. Then that was appropriate. The wooden spoon.
I remember those hurt too.
Yeah.
We did that for the children and pop them in the hand with the wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon. Oh no, I would get it on my ass. Like she had different sizes, and she had a drawer for the broken ones because she broke a few.
Damn. I mean, that's childhood trauma. Just grew and grew.
And grew and grew.
And she's like, just paddle me. I've never.
I do kind of like getting spanked.
See, that's what I'm saying. I've never liked pain. Like I've never I got beat,
like
but
a
now
little bit.
not even a little bit. Even during
like
sex.
A nipple pinch.
No, I like my nipples suck, but if they like bite down, I might get out. Nobody told you to fuck around like that. But no, Matter of fact, I've had a chick like during sex slap the shit out of me, and it really had to like bring myself like, oh no, this is what you're supposed to happen during sex, because I was almost about to choke her out. Like, bitch, are you crazy?
Yeah. I had a dude hit me in the face once, and it was just something that he did. I was like, oh, not with me like that.
Not with me.
I'm like you can literally pull my hair, spit in my mouth, but if you slap me in the face,
it's go time.
I am going to fuck you up. That's a trigger for me.
That was me too, yeah.
Where I'm like, literally, my hand was in him, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck are you? That's something you ask someone.
Right. Did you think this is a game? Right.
I'm like, I will break your dick off.
Yeah, I had to catch myself. That hit in the face, getting hit in the face automatically like sends me enraged.
My dad had big ass hands. He only did it a very, I want to say less than 5 times. But when he did it, it was because I had said some shit where he was a large man, 6'10", and he said to me, it's
That's
not
murder.
What you say, but how you say it that makes me want to kill you sometimes.
A 6'10" man's full-fledged slapping you, I'm surprised you're not slow.
Probably knock some
You might have CTE or some shit, that's a brain bleed.
It was once in high school.
I know you were a complete bitch in high school. I just feel like you just
monster.
like the things you would say to people, I'm sure were just horrible.
I was a monster. Well, because I stopped living with him right when I got into high school, so I was very disciplined when I lived with him. And then I went to go live with my mom, and then it was a fucking free for all. I'm like, you made me live in literal hell for 7 years with this psychopath, and I'm now going to bring it back to you.
Yes, yeah.
It's like a boomerang, sweetheart.
Right.
I told her that, and she's like, oh, fuck. First year, got expelled from school. I wasn't fucking around.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I started a fire.
At your school?
Well, it was an accident. I didn't just, start a fire. I flicked a cigarette in a pile of dead leaves and then started the soccer field and part of the wooded area on fire.
Yeah, they expelled you.
Yeah, I got to go back though because I turned myself in because someone else was going to get blamed for it and I felt bad.
Oh, you had more.
I have morals. I'm a sociopath, but I'm not going to let someone else take credit for something I did.
Right. I burned it.
I'm the one who did it.
This is my work.
It was funny too. I think I was only 14, And the cops are like, we have a beer can with fingerprints. And I'm like, I'm 14 and I am here without my parents. Anything right now could go literally out the window.
Yeah, you can't hold me.
I'm like, my daddy taught me everything because they knew my father quite
well.
Quite well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
God.
So let's talk about drugs.
Absolutely.
I love drugs.
I definitely have a relationship with some of them, you know. I have dabbled in a few things. Nothing too crazy. No heroin or no shit like that. I ain't never tied myself off or
no.
Shit.
That's still one I haven't. Unless, like, at the hospital.
So, matter of fact, this is a question
okay.
I've been asking just to see.
Mm-hmm.
If you found out you had 30 days left to live, what drug would you try?
Absolutely,
and I said
heroin.
I said heroin. I said, well, if I knew I was going to die, I would try.
Yeah, me and Doug Stanhope talked about that. It's like, if we know we're going to die or the world's going to end, I am absolutely going to shoot up.
Like, if they say there's an asteroid coming for Earth and we have roughly 4 months left, really is like, show me where the black tar is.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to try all of it. We're going to mix it with some fucking ayahuasca and just see what happens.
Let's just make a day of this.
We've done that. You and I.
We have. I'm never with ayahuasca, which I'm going to be honest, I've kind of wanted to try it because...
they have like...
They have shamans.
Mm-hmm.
And, listen, I don't want to ever try a drug that they make me change into a diaper for and like give me a... So I'm going to shit myself or puke like...
No. Well, I guess, you do puke.
And they also put like, you have the option of wearing Depends because some people lose control of their bowels. And I'm like, guys, they're like, but you have to do that full cleanse to actually like get... And I'm like, my nigga.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to shit my pants. I don't care.
You never shit your pants on accident?
As a 4-year-old, yeah. And
never as an adult?
Never.
And
you know what's crazy?
A little bit?
You know what's crazy? I'm for real. Because my boy Chico actually told me about this. And I'm saying his name because he'll tell you the story. He has no shame. He shit his pants recently on a date. And I'm telling you, it's the funniest story I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
And he asked him, he's like, so you've never accidentally shit your pants? I'm like, I'm not slow. All right? I would literally blast a load onto a brick wall of a church outside of New York before I would let it come out.
You never had like a wet fart? Like a fart that just...
Oh, one of those?
Yeah.
No. Know exactly what you're talking about. Matter of fact, when my stomach is in turmoil, you don't never trust a fart. That's a known thing that I was taught as a child.
Yeah.
You never trust a fart when your stomach is iffy.
Iffy.
And I know how I get with spicy foods. Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom.
That's spicy. You got a sensitive tongue.
Yeah, and I eat them all the time because I just like to see what my body can take. But yeah, if I even think, I'm like, I'm going to go do this fart over a toilet. And then that's
responsible.
Now, there have been, but you know what? Let me knock on wood because on the train a couple times, it has been really, because here's the thing, I enjoy coffee, but I have literally exactly 15 minutes after I drink coffee. I mean, like clockwork. And I'm telling you, don't fuck around. I'm not talking about 15 minutes, 30 seconds, 15 minutes, 15 seconds. 15 minutes or less, I'm going to move mountains. And I misgauged it one time.
Oh.
And I was on the train. And I tell you, when you talk about cold sweats.
Oh, I know that the cold sweat.
And every rumble, you can feel shit literally jiggle in your body, and you're like
if you just move.
And that's the thing. I just literally closed my eyes, and I was like, just focus on your breathing.
Just meditate in and out.
And I literally, it lasted from all the 5 stops. And I tell you, I bolted at 50th, and I was like, I just need a Starbucks. And luckily, as long as you don't look like you do heroin, even though they say they'll kind of, because I was like, you don't understand what's
it's going to happen in your store.
Yeah, so it's either you let me or somebody's going to be cleaning up in their store. And I just feel like that could be avoided.
Yeah. That could be avoided if you just let me in.
Just give me the code.
Our friend Emily, she actually gives you the code. Like, she'll go to a Starbucks, order something, get the code for the bathroom, and then post it on Twitter. So there's a bunch of codes for all the bathrooms.
Oh my gosh, she's doing the Lord's work.
She really is.
Until somebody ODs because they got off Twitter. But she did it with the best intentions.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, no. Okay, so ayahuasca. I tried DMT.
Yeah.
We tried it.
The summer of 2020 was a very special summer.
Pandemic summer. We were in the middle of hell. We didn't know who else was going to die.
Yeah.
Me and Aaliyah tripped. She had me eating psychedelics like they were the vaccine. I think that's why I've never gotten it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. There were a couple times I left this earth and I was genuinely nervous that I was never coming back.
Well, I did tell a story about my friend who did a little too much acid and ended up in my bathtub.
A little too much acid? Is that what we're going to call it?
Well,
or was it a full-blown fucking overdose of acid?
It was 2 hits. And we didn't take them at the same time. We took one, and then once that one started kicking in, we took the other one. But when they first started kicking in, because I remember very distinctly, I was in the kitchen, I was making us food, you were walking around, you're like, oh, it's starting to kick in. You're like, I want a cigarette. And I was like, okay, do you want to eat first? Or do you want to go smoke a cigarette and then come eat? He's like, that. So we went downstairs, stopped cooking food, went downstairs to smoke a cigarette. And we're just hanging out and like you're sweating, like cartoon sweat.
No. Do not do that. I didn't just start sweating. The cops won't pull up.
Well, no, you were a little sweaty before, but when the cops came, when they walked past you, then it
went full blown cartoon animation. Yeah, I look like Daffy Duck.
And I'm tripping too, but I'm also very focused.
And you're also a veteran. All right, you're an actual veteran of this. You've seen it all. Nothing surprises you.
So I really wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, just calm down.
Yeah, you're like, you need to calm down, because I was like, I think you need to take me to the hospital. You were like,
well, no, you're like, I want to stay down here. You could go upstairs. I was like, oh, that's not.
I'll be fine in the city on my own.
I'm like, that during a race riot pandemic, there is no, sir. You are going to come back up to your white friend's apartment. And then I'm like, we're in the elevator. And you're sweating, and then my neighbor comes in with a little fucking Pomeranian.
That's right, and I couldn't make eye contact with him.
So you're in the corner of the elevator.
It's like,
and I'm trying to talk to him. Like,
to keep him distracted from looking at this weird-ass black man sweating profusely in the corner, not making eye contact with anybody.
Seriously, it was like something out of Looney Tunes.
Was my back turned to him? Like, was I facing the corner?
No, you were like in the corner with your head down, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, I'm like, we fucked up. We drank a little bit.
Just please get me out of here with this people.
I'm playing with this little Pomeranian who looks like a fucking lion. He gets out, and then we come upstairs. I'm like, you should take a shower. You're like, I would love a shower.
Let me tell you.
Like, literally stripped walking through my apartment, and you were going to take your boxers off, and then you're like, no, you shook your head, and then I put you
Probably should be full-blown naked.
in the shower.
That's amazing, dude. I'm telling you, I think because I'm a water baby, water just always, like when I'm tripping too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that happen for everybody? When they trip? Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, a cool shower, like, helps with anything.
Submerge me, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
So I went back to the kitchen, finished cooking.
And that's when you finish cooking.
And I come in the bathroom, I sit on the toilet, and I'm just eating brisket, watching you talk.
Eating cornbread while talking to me.
Yeah.
While the water's just coming down.
And I'm like, do you want some food? And that was the thing, too, is that you didn't eat. And that,
so it was LSD on an empty stomach.
On an empty stomach, which I don't necessarily suggest.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But like, I found that about shrooms too.
Yeah,
shrooms, you mean empty stomach. I think it produces way too much poison or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna vomit. And
yeah, well, some people do vomit regardless.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, if you don't eat, I like to have a solid base. It's just like drinking.
Yeah, okay.
Have a full stomach.
I still have a lot to learn sometimes in this, because I've always like smoked weed my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, since 2005, since I was a junior in high school, I think that's when I started smoking like every day.
Yeah.
But then like as far as like the party scene goes, like ecstasy and Molly, I was kind of late to the party on those shit because like I said, I did play sports and shit, so I really wasn't. Like, oh yeah, weed was enough. Hell, I was already taking a big enough risk smoking
that,
to the NCAA, wondering if I'm going to get, piss test or something. But, then once I got out and went to grad school, I think that's when I started getting that little hankering to...
The fun stuff.
Yeah, let's see what all the rave is about. Oh, it's a good time. I hate Molly, by the way.
It's, I used to love it. Like, there was a couple of times where I was like, I fucking get it. Yeah. This is amazing. But it's like any drug, like, you're going to have to end up doing more. You're never going to have that first time high again. And
the problem with Molly, number one for me, I'm completely paralyzed. Like, I mean, I feel great. Rub on my nipples, lick them. I am Christopher Reeves below the belt. Like, my dick goes inside of me. It does not move.
It's like a turtle.
Yeah. It's just the shell. And I'm telling you, and the first time, and I remember because I'll never forget it. Like I said, the first time I did, I had a great time. There was no sex on the table, so it was just a good feeling.
Yeah.
I was around hot chicks, and I was like, oh, okay. Second time I did Molly, I was in a hotel with some prosties, and I was on Molly, and I had 2 women on their knees trying to blow my limp dick, and they were like, they were cool about it, but I mean, they're prostitutes, so they've seen all types of monster-sized cocks.
Yeah.
And here I got this old baby dick. I'm damn near pissing on my nuts. And I'm just like so ashamed. So of course, what I do, I go to the bathroom to give the old pep talk, like, you want to show out in front of company? And I give like a hard thump on the head. And I knew it was a problem when I thumped on the head and I didn't budge.
Didn't even feel it. Didn't even switch.
Didn't even do it. I was just like, oh,
Dead.
You're playing possum.
That's what happens though, like, because a lot, like, even with Coke, sometimes it's just like, it's not, but you get so horny that, like, you want
on Coke,
to.
You definitely get horny, but the problem, so I found a remedy to this, and any of you guys who, if you ever partake in inhaling cocaine, and you're worried about erections. I mean, of course, if you got a Cialis guy, that's the way to go. But let's say you don't want to go to the pharmaceutical.
That's a lot for your heart, though, to have, because they both.
That's what they say. I don't know. Back in the day, I wasn't afraid to try it. So whatever it took, I was going to do it. But the Arabic honeys are actually the best thing. If you don't know, if you go to any bodega or if you live down south, to go to any smoke shop where there's Punjabi or Bengali person, India, over there. We call them Ak up here. And my nigga Ak. And they're not even from India, so it's just completely racist at this point. But go to any shop where it's a Hindu person, something, you know what I'm talking about, dark people. And say, I need that Arabic honey. And I'm telling you, it is like natural. It's actual honey. Okay, so it's actual honey, but there's other stuff in it like ginseng. Like it's like, I wish I had a packet. It's all natural stuff.
Okay.
When I tell you it stays in your system for like 48 hours and you could cut a diamond with your dick, I'm talking about, I don't care what type of drug you do. You are fine, all right? All you got to do is see the ball go in the basket one time and you can play, all right? You take one of those honeys and I'm talking and you just fuck. And the thing is, you'll nut and it doesn't go down. It's better than the Cialis because your heart's not racing. But you're nut and you're still there. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this shit? No, yeah. So that's the thing. That's the problem with the Cialis, because
Viagra, because
they were heart medicines before they became. That's how they figured out that they gave you boners. Yeah, that's what they said. That's how it was discovered. This shit is just natural from the earth.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you're not allergic to any.
No, people don't be allergic to fucking honey. Number one.
Yeah, ginseng or whatever.
Yeah. So and they have the ingredients on the packet. They have the regular honey, which comes in a gold pack, or you can upgrade to the Black Bull, which is in the black pack. I like them. Because I'm older now, even at 33. If I drink a lot, like after a show, and I know I'm about to have some, I don't even want to take the risk that he's gonna fuck around on me. Yeah. So I'll buy a black honey. At the beginning of the night, just keep it in my pocket.
And just in case.
Just in case it's go time, I pop it like Popeye. It's like my fucking spinach. And give me 30 minutes in my bloodstream. I'm like, I'll take you down anywhere.
With any drug. I like that. We did DMT. So we
didn't have enough.
No, there wasn't.
I didn't see the machine elves that they say you're supposed. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, you see whatever you see, like what's in your head. Like that's maybe what other people see. And a lot of times someone will tell you, oh, I saw this, and then you're going to expect to see that, so you may or may not see it. We had a decent amount, but yeah, like when I did it by myself, of course I did. Because it doesn't last that long. It only lasts like maybe 10, 15 minutes or something like that, if I remember correctly. But I remember I smoked and I looked out the window, and I remember like looking down, and so I just stood up and looked out, and like it just went like cartoon. Everything just turned into a cartoon, and it was just like kind of like Cool World or fucking Sin City. It was pretty dope. I was like, this stuff is the best stuff.
Why is that shit so hard to find?
I have a couple people online.
What's it made from?
It's a plant. Yeah, you just you can actually buy the plant.
Grow DMT.
Yeah, and then there's like a way to process it or whatever. I guess it's not that difficult. Should we grow some DMT?
Get your green thumb ready, buddy. We're planting DMT.
It is a lot of fun.
Damn. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, ecstasy I do like.
Yeah. But we don't do it that much. Ecstasy and Molly are the same.
Yeah. they say, well, the thing is,
well,
Molly's
Molly,
so dirty now, but the original form, Molly, the original.
It was supposed to be like the purest form of
and now it's just meth, speed, and heroin all in one.
I've always liked the press pills. I've always liked the way with the little fucking design on it. That's when I knew that the shit was going to at least be either speedy or heroin-y, but it was going to be decent.
Is that what that feeling is?
Well, yeah. Sometimes I'll have the speedy one, and then sometimes they are.
But that's why I didn't like Molly, because like I said, like when I took it, I mean, I was up for like 12 hours. Not like it was like 13 hours. Like I could not go to sleep. And I was like, this can't be how long it's supposed to last. I was like, they have got to put crystal meth in here.
The speedy ones. Yeah, I hated the speedy ones.
Jaw just going off their hinges, teeth grinding. I was like, somebody give me a mouthpiece.
Like, I grind my teeth I don't really grind my teeth when I do coke, but I do it way more when I do Molly. And definitely meth.
And definitely meth.
I haven't done meth in decades.
I'm like wait, what?
Decades. Since my raver days, I haven't done
Holy
meth.
shit. I don't know. I've never done meth. Well, I've never smoked. Yeah, I've never, like, nobody's ever said, you want some meth. Now, if it was in Molly, then maybe. But that's why I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's been decades
I used to have 2 bullets, like for snuff or whatever. So I had one that was like cocaine and a little bit of meth, and then I had one of some crushed up Klonopin. My dad's Klonopin, so if I got too high, I'd do I only did that for about 6 months. I'm like,
yeah, because your body wasn't gonna be able to handle much.
Well, I was also like, okay, this seems like a problem. Like, it's not fun. Like,
right.
I like to do drugs because they're fun.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want, like, my mom always said, you could do drugs, just don't let the drugs do you. And I was like, oh, the drugs are doing me right now. Let's
gotcha.
Partying.
That is quite the advice. My mom was always like, just stay the fuck away from drugs.
Well, because, like, parents, like, they know you're going to do it. Especially my parents. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I used to steal their drugs for, their weed. Their weed. Yeah, so it's like, you could do drugs.
I think my mom had a feeling that I was wild, but I don't know if she knew to the extent of how wild. But as I got older, I started finding out more stuff about them. Like, my mom was an ex-NFL cheerleader, and she told me, like, she was like, we used to have, in Florida, she was like, we used to have, like, blow parties in the 80s. I was like, no,
especially in the 80s.
She was like, Philip. I was like, Mom. She's like, Philip, like, trust me, the mom is not the mom. I was like, I don't even want to meet that fucking lady. You crazy?
She was partying.
Jesus.
Here, like, in New York City in, like, the 70s and stuff, all of Times Square was basically just sex parties.
Oh, well, yeah, I've seen those documentaries.
Live sex clubs.
But there was, like, real predators out there then, too. Like,
yeah.
They would just rape you in alleys and then, like, throw you back on the street. It was like, what? I'm not paying.
Women, like, prostitutes and stuff would get arrested, but, like, Johns wouldn't. Like, there was nothing for solicitation or prostitution. Be like, you're naughty, go home to your wife.
That's fucking crazy, man. But that's wild, too. I would have walked through Times Square just to see, like, so you just gonna suck dick here on the street and not give me none.
Yeah, it does. It's probably like the first incels. Like, you see all these people, and you can see all these women, and you can't touch them, and you can't have them.
And they go crazy off the sexual fantasy, so they end up, like, raping them and murdering.
And then if you think about, like, all the drugs out, like, they're definitely not as strong, but, like, coke and, I mean,
I think they might have been stronger back then.
You think? Maybe, probably pure.
Because they weren't stepping on it. You got to understand that the game was new, so when they were bringing in, they were just putting it on the street. They didn't know that you could make more if you cut it down a little bit.
Right.
They're like, here.
They didn't figure that out until crack.
Crack, right. And that's when it became, okay, but when it first came out, like, that's what
I would love to try acid from, like, the 60s to see.
Well, I don't know, because you can still see the people who live on the subway are still tripping from Woodstock. So, I don't know if I want to try.
They're still literally at Woodstock
right now. I'm telling you, that shit seems terrifying. Like, I don't even, all of them, so what I want to know is, back in the day, because I already say, because I love the Wolf of Wall Street, is a Quaalude basically what a Xanax is to us now, or is it, like, way stronger? That's what I want to know. Ludes, what were they?
I think they're similar to
Xans.
To Xannies, but
which that means I wouldn't like them because
they don't make them anymore.
Right, which is why I'm like, we gotta find one.
They're like Rufinol, like roofies.
They don't make Rufinol anymore? So.
No, they switched it to things like Xanax and, like, all that other fucking.
God.
I need to learn more about opioids just for, like.
So roofies, were they only for date rape, or were they sexually serve a purpose?
There was also GHB.
Liquid G. I've actually had that before, surprisingly. But apparently my boy said I was about to be raped, and I didn't know that. So, I was like, really? He said, Phil,
Yeah.
somebody asked to put G in your drink, and you said, yeah. They said it was like kind of like trippy. He was like, no, that's literally. He was like, honestly, 2 drops of G probably would have like you wouldn't have been able to move.
Oh, we used to.
I dropped 1 drop, and I felt fine, but it makes sense because it was 2 Dominican dudes. And they were like, I remember I was just moving here, and they were like, I was looking for some blow at the time, and I was like, you guys got blow? And they were like, yeah, Papi, we got blow.
Of course, Papi.
And so they were like, you want to party? I'm like, fucking right. I was hammered. It was, and I lived in the building.
Oh,
so it wasn't like it was
already
a
hammered.
and I was already at home, so it wasn't like it's random. I am in my lobby about to go up, and I'm like, we're building neighbors, so if y'all partying, yeah, I'll party. I just go
poor boy from the South moving to the big city.
Almost, they tried to get me. I was wondering why one of the Dominican dudes only had on his tighty whities, and I was like.
The gay community, they do really like GHB, like a lot of them. Well,
it was making sense. I got the fuck out of there before. Once I started to realize what was up,
yeah,
I was like,
I
was like, okay, I'm going home, and I just literally opened the door. They're like, anytime, Papi. No, not anytime, actually.
Did you feel? Because a lot of times, anytime I did G, it made me feel like a drunk feeling, like where I didn't have control over, like I like doing drunk, but I like the ones where I have control over like my bodily function. Like I have definitely drank too much where I couldn't walk, where I pass out. That's only been a very few handful of times.
You were like 14. That doesn't happen now.
No, it doesn't. Well, maybe now, yeah, because I don't drink nearly as much. But it's like in my prime, in like 19, 20, 21, yeah, there was a couple of times where I got so wasted where I was like, where you get the spins, and like I couldn't drive. That's how I knew I was.
But you know, because when you're drunk, especially if you grow up in like
Wisconsin.
The South, or when I lived in Ohio, I would be hammered like I'm fine, but you would know I was really drunk when I'm like,
I can't
can you get me home this time? Because you know, like even for you, this is a stretch.
It'd be like, there's been a couple of times where I get in the car and be like, oh, this is not a time for me to drive. And my friends would be like, what? Because I was only
Where is reverse?
So bad. That's how you knew I was super fucked up. But G kind of gave me like that same feeling, and I didn't like it. It was like K. I never really liked K either because it made me had the feeling like I wanted to throw up. Like I've done too much K, and like you get in the K hole. But those drugs, like the best way for me to explain it, the way it made me feel was that I was like really real drunk, and that like couldn't like really move. Like if you do enough, it actually does feel good. It kind of has like that ecstasy kind of vibe. If you
you can't move.
You do the right amount. For me, no, I'm just like mush, and then like I want to throw up, and I feel like I've definitely made myself throw up just to get it out so I could like function.
Years ago, I accidentally tried K. Years ago, I was at a party.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was that Colombian Bam Bam. But here's the thing. So I was at a party. There was a plate going around.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Yo, don't touch the shit on the left. Just do the stuff on the right." Now, me being a drunk ass, I was like, "Oh, they being stingy with the blow. I'll do whatever side I want to fucking do.
I'm gonna do some from both sides.
Right, how about that? I'll do 2 of them."
Mm-hmm.
And I railed a fat daddy, which, unbeknownst to me, was ketamine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
K-hole I did. I got scared because I couldn't move, and I was like, oh God, what the fuck? All right. So then, so that was a horrible experience. Then, might have been 6 months after that, I was at another party, kind of with the same type of crowd, maybe some of the same people.
Mm-hmm.
There was K there. I knew it was. So I was like, let me try this knowing.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
It was the most fun I've probably had in a long time.
Yeah,
but he had a shag rug, and I had my face on it, and I was just rubbing my face on it. But you know what's crazy? One of my good friends is a doctor, like MD,
mm-hmm.
like he's a traveling doctor actually, and I did not know how many drugs doctors actually do. Like they do so many drugs, and I didn't realize that because I guess when you're a kid, you're like, he's a doctor, he's smart. They party harder than most people.
Yeah, lawyers? Are you kidding? You know.
Well, I knew the lawyers. Yeah, I knew the lawyers did, but doctors, I just didn't because I'm like, you're so serious. And I asked him, I was like, what is your favorite drug? He said, by far, ketamine.
Yeah.
I said, sure. But they do it through an IV. And he said, because he's like, Phil.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
He said, you have to do the right amount. He said, but if he said, people, you just do it in powder form. He's like, you end up fuck around and overdose. He said, but we do IVs and it's a drip. And he says, it is one of the most euphoric. But they're like actually prescribing this now for
depression.
people. You know, so I know somebody on who actually started ketamine treatments.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Like it can be like if you do just a little bit, it's fucking awesome. Like it does help with depression, but
take them out that a horse takes, and
you were gonna be like my ex-boyfriend who would literally just drool half the time because he was always in a K-hole.
Good.
But when you're an addict too, like you want to do more instead of just like K is one of those where you just have to like wait until it's almost done out of your system, then you could do a little bit more. Like you can't be doing like
which is why I had to slow down. I really did. I mean, I still party and do certain things, but I've given myself the rule where it's the weekend. I like doing them, but I was doing like Mondays and Tuesdays. I was like, I'll do some blow. Yeah. And I really had to get the fuck away from that because I was like you said, they were doing me. They were starting to do me.
Once like you have something like, I mean, I wrote a paper specifically on like the difference your brain, like how your brain reacts to cocaine and sugar. So I was like, I'm a scientist, so I got some cocaine and some sugar. But I
sniffed both.
But yeah, but I'm like doing homework on a Tuesday, and I'm like, but it's for science. This is for science. But yeah, anytime like during the week, even with drinking for me, a lot of times, like...
I haven't conquered that yet, Aaliyah. I still drink every day.
Like, well, before quarantine and then after quarantine, I was full back, Wisconsin, 22-year-old. I'm like, we're doing all the drugs. I don't care if it's Monday. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, and I drink way too much. And I've said I'm like...
During the weekend stuff?
Anytime.
Yeah.
You have liquor. I might have a Jameson before I leave here. Like, dead serious. Like, I mean, if it's there, I'm like, I mean, I'll have one. Then what's going to do? You know what I mean?
I do have the Jameson.
I'm probably going to have one.
No, I have... like New Year's was we saw each other on New Year's. That was the most fucked up I've gotten since Thanksgiving. That was the last
since Thanksgiving. I thought you were gonna say some astronomical number.
No, Thanksgiving.
2 months ago.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. But yeah, I haven't gotten drunk since Thanksgiving. Like partied like that since Thanksgiving. I did some acid on New Year's.
Yeah, she gave me some when I saw her, and it became just a long day.
Yeah.
Just a long day, which I didn't plan for. I mean, I know I was going to be drunk. The acid always just is a contract. You just sign your day away, you know. But here's the thing, you know what's also crazy? As much as I used to really love blow in my younger days, and again, I like it if there's chicks around with big tits and shit, because that normally means I'm going to do them off their tits. So that's why I always enjoyed it. It's a known thing. And the thing, everybody... people have always said, Phil, how have you had as many threesomes? Because before I moved to New York, I never had a threesome. And I've had...
Cocaine.
I'm telling you, have blown, and bitches love coke. And I'm like, let me just do one off your tits. They're like, done. And then they're like, so I can't do one off your dick? Done, if it'll work. And then the next thing you know, we're doing it, and their friends will start making out. And I'm telling you, it's always easier when you have help, all right? And so, but here's the thing, it's not as fun as it used to be. That's what it was like. I'm 33 now. And I am. It's not. Well, number one,
your body doesn't work.
It doesn't. And my recovery, the next day, my buddy has a saying which is so funny. He quit doing coke. He's completely sober. He quit doing everything. Yeah. But he was like, it fucks with your dopamine. That's why you feel so down the next day.
Yeah. And so because it gives you this false sense. Like
exactly, and it does. That you have nothing left. And so when we used to do blow together, he'd be like, buddy, you're just stealing smiles from tomorrow. Yeah. And it is the funniest thing.
That is a great, yeah.
This is so true.
Same with ecstasy, you would literally, it would take
Molly's suicidal for me. That's another
3-4 days before, you're even back. Yeah, you are legally depressed. Like, your
ecstasy,
body is depleted of those hormones.
Molly, I could have jumped in front of the A train. That's what and I've never been to, but I was like, you have nothing. Because at the time I was homeless. I was in New York. Yeah. I would crash on your couch when you know what I mean? But I didn't really have no stable, and so on those days I would party hard on those type of drugs. It would really make me look at my life because I'm headed to the next couch or floor I'm gonna sleep on, and it would really fuck with me.
But that's what those drugs are kind of like. If you do them medically, they do help you work through shit.
Check your shit. Look at you. Look at yourself. 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. You have nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do them the right way, in the medical way, yeah, they could be super beneficial. But yeah, the sad part, some of the most times I've ever, like, hit rock bottom, like, just hung over, just, like, whoa, from doing too much coke at whatever. There was a couple times where we did all of them at the same time. Just doing blow, acid, did some shrooms, drinking, and the next day I'm like, I need to get my life together.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me.
I'm taking kickboxing classes now. I'm like, what? This is inappropriate. I'm letting the drugs do me.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
Quarantine was different though. It was. You didn't know what was going to happen.
I'm glad lockdown is over. You kept saying, I love being locked down.
I really did.
But I think mentally it was bad for you, though, because you were starting to get real crazy some days because you were just drugs. Every day.
Well, not every day.
No. Oh, maybe we took the Sabbath off, but not because we didn't. Probably because we were out. Wasn't for any religious purpose. I was like, man.
Yeah, no, we did get a little crazy. And
then remember that one piece of candy you had where it was LSD, Molly, all in one?
Oh, yeah.
Those were miserable.
Okay, so yeah, it had 1,200 milligrams of LSD, 1,200 milligrams of MDMA, and 1,000 milligrams of THC.
Yeah. I'm talking, I was just a fingernail away from licking a window. Like, I was fucking not a human anymore. Me and fucking Lucy were sharing the same bowl.
Oh, yeah, those were some of my favorites. I love those.
Jesus. But I'm better now, so that's why I can talk about drugs.
Quarantine's over.
I really have gotten.
We got to be able to go to work again. This is what happens when.
I got comedies back, and I can like go out and I can film shit and do shit, and I'm feeling like myself again. But for a while, I was like really struggling to find purpose. And I think that's what people do.
A lot of people did. They just didn't have access to the amount of drugs we did. Yeah. But I'm sure there was, like, I remember watching, with even, like, the first 2 months of the lockdown, where, like, a dude would be jogging down his neighborhood and it was garbage day, and he'd just look in the recycling bin and be like, all bottles. Every single house, just like beer, wine.
Everybody.
Like
that's how we coped.
We went through a lot.
Which is why they kept liquor stores. They knew that if they would have closed liquor stores, I was saying like
people would have been murdered. I mean, a lot of people.
The suicide rate would have gone.
Suicide. I mean, there was a lot of like domestic abuse went up. Obviously.
A lot.
Like a lot.
Some of them women like, I can't wait for the men to go back to the auto shop. I can't take another ass whooping. Earl, please go fix something.
I can't say I broke my arm falling down the stairs again.
Right. They know you were here all day.
Like, we have no one to hide from. Well, in certain states, like, if a woman is abused, like, the state could press charges. Because sometimes the women will be like, no. Like, they'll try to, and then they won't. So the state will just be like, no, we're doing this.
That's fucking crazy.
Not all of them, but most of them should, to be perfectly honest. Because, love is another tricky drug.
Yeah, love is the worst drug.
Love is
I hate falling in love. I didn't even know I was a psychopath till I fell in love, and I'm like...
Yeah, I would rather do cocaine than ever have to fall in love again.
Dude, love is, like, so sick.
It's disgusting.
And the thing is, and people say I'm a pessimist, but I'm like, I hate being in love because it always ends in heartache. And they're like, you either break up or they die. But at some point, either one of those happens.
Yeah, and it's like murder is illegal, which would definitely
in some states. So,
Not all of them.
No.
Wait, which ones is it legal?
The ones I've done it in.
Okay, idiot.
Yeah, I saw a meme that made me think about you the other day. It was a couple months ago before we reconciled, and it really did make me think about it. It said, I hate when I go on dates and people are like, are you sure you're not a serial killer? And it's like, the chances that 2 serial killers are in the same car is astronomical. That shit had me rolling. I was like, that's Aaliyah. Like, how do I know you're not going to kill me, bitch?
How do you know I won't kill you? Guess where my knives are right now.
Right? In your vagina. Oh, God.
They have some of those in certain countries, like, so women don't get raped. It's kind of like...
chastity belts and blades?
No, yeah, it's like you insert it, and if a dude tries to, like, pull out... You know how, like, a cat's pussy kind of has, like, the
How do they put it in their vagina without slicing their organs?
Because it's Yeah.
No, that hurts me. I only have one. Oh, God. A razor to the vag. Whoa.
Yeah, that would be
My
very
stomach hurt.
unpleasant. No, it doesn't affect the vagina, but yeah, once the dick goes in, once they pull it out, it like fucking like shreds it.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
well, that's how you get AIDS.
For sure.
That's definitely how you get AIDS through vaginal.
Uncasing the sausage inside of you.
Ooh, but
That's
would it be
HIV.
worth it to cut off a dude's dick because he's trying to rape you? Absolutely. I will take.
Just get your garden shears and snip. You don't have to
Snip,
be
snip,
inside
snip.
it to just samurai it. It's one quick.
Well, I mean, if it's like for young girls and stuff like that, and some of those like countries where they still have tribes.
I
and
don't
stuff,
want them
Indian,
shoving a
African.
razor in any young girl's vagina.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's just stay out of young women's vaginas. How about that as a rule?
Yeah, consent is.
Shouldn't be consenting with the 9-year-old vagina anyway. Let's just keep them out of it. Go play with your Barbies.
What is it? 13's the legal age in some states to get married. Texas.
There's 13 can't be the legal
13,
age.
14. Yeah,
Maybe in 1833.
My aunt and uncle got married when they were 14 because in Texas because he knocked her
You
up.
could do that. But that was years. That's what I'm saying. They've changed
70s.
that. They've changed that. Yeah. They've
In
changed
some states, no. Absolutely not. There are still some states in the United States where you can marry like a 14, 15-year-old.
I really want to Google it, but I don't want that in my search history.
In case the government's watching.
Yeah, it's like, what do we have here? What is the youngest broad I can marry? By
In what
state.
state?
By state. Oh, looks like we're going to Boise.
Probably Idaho.
Idaho
I think.
definitely don't give a fuck, man.
They have a lot of Mormons there. That's a high.
Yeah.
With the sister
As long
wife.
as she's had her first blood, you can take her.
Right. Oh, yeah, the first blood. Like,
That's old school.
It sounds like something that you would hear in, like, Game of Thrones.
Right. Has she bled yet?
Has she bled?
It was like, not yet, sire. She's not ready.
Thine has not bled.
But nowadays, the way they put hormones in chicken, has she bled? She's 8. She's good. Like, no.
I actually do feel bad for a lot of
These motherfuckers are 10-year-olds with titties now because the chicken is so fucking
way too young to be going through that. Like I was lucky, like 14. It was perfect fucking normal, healthy age.
Which is still like high school, like going into high school, 8th grade. I remember.
Oh, I was like a late bloomer.
See, that's what I'm saying. I remember the biggest
Surprising.
jugs I ever saw. Like, I remember when they started changing, but in 6th grade, this chick, I mean, she just had the nicest sweater puppies we had ever seen. But they had to be, like, looking back, because we were 6th grade, but honestly, they might have been C's. And in 6th
I knew
grade,
a girl in the
that
5th
is
grade.
huge.
No, 4th grade. Her name was Chrissy. Acne, full-blown acne, already had her period, 4th, 5th grade, and she had, like, C almost D.
And I remember, like, when you're that age, you don't care how ugly they are, you want to see them. And I remember, like, as you get cool, like, and you go to, like, parties or dances, I remember, like, can we see your tits?
Oh, yeah, no, like, she would constantly get sexually harassed.
Oh, like, looking back,
assaulted.
The thing is, you didn't know that there was sexual harassment because you're in 5th grade, so you're
they
just like...
They don't teach you that
yeah,
shit
you're
ever,
like,
really,
I have nipples, you have nipples, your nipples are swollen. Can I see them?
Yeah.
It's not so, you know what I mean? It's more innocent than anything, but, and of course, I never, like, grabbed, because I was just raised with them. My mom would have beat my baby. Yeah, you don't touch anybody with their permission.
Yeah.
But especially don't grab me, you know what I mean? But, like, dude, I remember vividly in the 90s, like, being in middle school, slapping chicks' asses, like, in the hallway. Like, it's just a normal thing, bro.
The 90s were super rapey.
Yeah.
The 90s were actually
You literally
very
would just
rapey.
grab chicks. I remember doing it. And,
I remember
and looking back, I'm like, wow, dude. Like,
getting
I'm like,
felt up in dudes in fucking class where I'm like, literally, like, I'm getting in trouble for yelling.
You'd be like, yeah, you like slap, like, damn, you getting thick. And the thing is, like, yeah, like, the teacher would just be like, don't fucking do that. Like, not like you're assaulted this woman. It's
no, it was just like, stop doing that, boys.
Stop bothering her. Yeah.
Now it's
and now I'm like, brother, listen. Unless she gets on her knees and starts blowing you first, don't talk to the bitch.
That's a good way to go.
Right. How do you know she wants you? Because she's already sucking your cock and you didn't ask her to. So that's pretty much the only way I know now.
You could also just ask.
I hate that.
Okay.
I don't hate consent. I hate making out and then
be like, do you want to go further?
Can I put my hand on your tit?
It
and
does
it's like,
fuck
it. I don't even want to do this anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I was making out with a guy and like a couple of years ago, and he was like, do you want to, like, he would ask, he's like, do you want to make out? And I was just like, you can't read the
Right, you would
Yeah,
think, but,
like,
we used to read that.
I was thrown off a little bit with that.
Because women of your age, my age, we come from an era where if you do like the guy, you do want him to be a little aggressive, like, because he was like, grab me and kiss me. But you've gotten so afraid that now there is no grab kiss. It's like you couldn't read by the signs. Like you're just like, do you know I am reading on a 4th grade level when it comes to sex? I really didn't know if I was comprehending it correctly because your nipples have been out all night, and so you know what I mean. So it's really fucking weird. And so yeah, like I've done it because I'm like, if I'm horny, I'm like, well, I do want to have sex. I'm like, so you want to get naked? I'm not even asking for sex. Do you want to get naked? Yeah. And we're like, yeah, I'll get naked. Okay. Well, that was consent to me because you wouldn't have got naked in my house. Correct. But then they're like, no, that's not. Did you ask to penetrate? I'm like, see, and that's when it gets weird because it's like,
that's
good
also
God, dude.
like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the
Why
fuck up.
would you get naked in my house if you didn't want to have sex?
Yeah.
It's a power play because you do open mics and I'm on. Bitch, I don't have any power. I can't get you on stage either way. So if you let me know if you want to fuck or not.
Stop fucking coming.
As of late, I've actually fucked a few, which is kind of against my rule. I've had sex with like 3 in the last. But they're all from out of state. They're all, none of them live in New York.
I'm like, is that better? Maybe,
No, they've all been from different regions of the world.
It does help when they're from out of state.
Oh, yeah, because then it's like, you don't really do comedy.
You.
Yeah, but hit me when you're in town again. We'll hang.
I'll let you know when I'm in town.
Yeah, man, and you want to do it like that? Go for some drinks. We're co-workers.
Yeah, I have a couple in California. Out in
a, you got to start naming. You just go get California. Yeah, I'm Atlanta, Chicago.
I forgot about Chicago. Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I got hosts in different area codes.
Yeah. We doing all right.
I'm doing all right. Where can people find you online?
Oh, man, you can probably find me at your mama house, but
I'm going to cut that out.
You better not. That's a tag. It's Funny Phil Duck. Funny, PHILDUCK. Funny is spelled FUNNY for all you remedial motherfuckers who ask me, is it PHUNNY? I'm like, relax. I spell what? Funny, FUNNY.
Okay.
PHILDUCK. Funny Phil Duck.
Yes. Okay. On Twitter and Instagram, your podcast.
And podcast called Dating App Disasters on Spotify and iTunes. We talk about a lot of bullshit and debauchery and fucking. And, I normally go off the hinges like I just did with you. You're just talking crazy shit.
So Phil is just being Phil.
Yeah. Phil is just being Phil, the piece of shit he is.
Obviously, this wonderful podcast, How to Do Drugs, on Twitter and Instagram, How to Do Drugs Pod. I have these awesome sweatshirts. If you can't see, this is great. For those that can see, it's the logo.
Oh my God.
It's the logo of the nose, and then on the back it has How to Do Drugs Pod. It's super cute. I also have some shirts and stuff that have the chemical formula for like DMT, ecstasy, LSD.
I would like probably one of those.
I'll show you one. They're very cool. You could get those at hardcorecomedyentertainment.com. Also, please rate and review this show. I haven't really asked for that, and I got my first bad review on Audible. Her name was Christy, with an I, Moore, with 2 O's. She was very upset about the beginning, about the chopping, because she thought I was really doing a line and that it wasn't just a fucking sound effect. She's like... So the title is like, I didn't like it within the first 8 seconds. And she's like, I really did give it a chance. I'm like, no, the fuck you didn't. But she's a recovering addict of 4 years now. And she's like, I hope this podcast doesn't do well.
Make me relapse.
No, she's like, if it does, I'm going to start a podcast and really show people how to do drugs. So I'm like, dear Christy, if you were better at doing drugs, you would still be able to do them. Congratulations on 4 years being sober, though. That's great. No, she got mad at like the story that I said about when I was 15 and me and my girlfriend, we took 10 hits of acid, but it was just blotter paper, like it wasn't actual acid. And she's like, no real drug addict does that. I'm like, have you ever met 14-year-old Aaliyah? Absolutely.
I can't believe there's an addict's argument.
But she was like, people don't do drugs, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you have some issues. Like, I'm glad you're sober, but therapy is also helpful. Quit projecting the fact that you can't do drugs anymore, sweetheart.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm like the old guard, except with murder. I do drugs.
She's forgotten more ways to do drugs than some armies do them.